Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle, and in this video, we're going to be doing our training camp news. I try to do one or two of these a week, just to try to keep you guys on top. We have a football game on Thursday. Starting from this week, we're going to have football every Thursday the rest of the year. So we've made it. We got games. We got practice with pads. A lot of fun things to get to. Before we get to the news, I just want to say, if you guys are new to the channel, we've had a massive growth of subscribers over the last month. So I just want to say thank you if you are new for subscribing. If you are still new and haven't subscribed, definitely consider doing it, please. And I don't know, check out the 2021 draft kit. Let's get into some of these headlines today. There's quite a bit of them. I think the most important note today, though, was the one in Indianapolis. We just saw Carson Wentz was on the shelf for 5 to 12 weeks. And now we're seeing the injury to their star offensive lineman, Quentin Nelson, who is going to be out for, again, the same injury, 5 to 12 weeks. I'm actually looking at it, and I don't know why it's not a headline for them. Let me go to injuries tab here. So here's Quentin Nelson. He's going to miss significant time with the foot injury. It's basically the same thing that Carson Wentz had. Again, it's a 5 to 12 week timetable. This is really making me panic on all of my Indianapolis Colts that we would have been selecting. But really, if you think about it, it's really only Jonathan Taylor that we cared about for fantasy football. So his starting guard is out. His starting quarterback is out. I get the Colts have a good offensive line, but Nelson was the best piece of this offensive line. Now, it just doesn't feel like I want to invest a first-round pick in Jonathan Taylor. I still think if you are interested in Jonathan Taylor, you can draft him as your RB2. If he starts to fall into the second round, which I think he's going to soon, he looks best as a running back too. And again, Wentz, Nelson, they do have the potential to return mid-season at some point. So you could get a boost in the middle of the year down the stretch. But for me, I'm kind of just downgrading Jonathan Taylor to like a fringe top 10 back. Maybe I think I have him 11th in my rankings, but this really hurts the Colts' chances, and it basically makes all Colts undraftable for me at ADP right now. I don't care about the receivers or the tight ends. Really only cared about Jonathan Taylor, who can still be a top 10, top 15 back. I just don't think he's going to have the ceiling as a top 5 back. Another interesting note, Kirk Cousins and Kellen Mond were placed on the reserve COVID list. They're going to be not practicing for a while until that gets cleared up. So we'll see what happens in Minnesota. Marquis Brown, this one was kind of yesterday. He suffered a hamstring injury that's more significant than originally believed. He's probably not going to practice for the next couple of weeks, and it just makes me nervous because a speed wide receiver with a hamstring injury. Just look at Kenny Gallaudet last year, guys. He hurt that hamstring, and he just never could get back on the field. He never was 100%. I'm nervous about Marquis Brown. I'm probably not interested in drafting him at this point. I think if you're drafting Baltimore Ravens, that's going to be Lamar, J.K., and Mark Andrews. Those are pretty much the only 3 that I like. If you want to get real late with the sleeper, Rashad Bateman or Sammy Watkins could be the receivers there. Another receiver, Devonta Smith, is going to miss 2 to 3 weeks with an MCL injury. That's a knee sprain. He's not going to practice at least for the next 2 weeks. So he's probably going to slide a little bit in ADP. So if you guys are drafting in the upcoming weeks, you could potentially get Devonta Smith for really cheap. You could even slide him to your IR and then pick up somebody else while he's listed with the O. So I like Devonta Smith if he begins to slip, but in his place, you're going to see Jalen Reagor, Travis Fulgham, and Greg Ward be the starting receivers throughout camp. And Reagor is becoming an interesting guy to me now. I think for a season-long standpoint, Jalen Reagor could be a guy to target in redraft leagues as one of your 5th or your 6th wide receiver for you on your bench. So I'm intrigued there. Miles Boykin not being consistently involved, so he's kind of just not even on our list anymore. Armandra Stevenson was activated from the non-football injury list. There's O.J. Howard practicing for the first time since the Achilles tear. These are some news and notes from last week. Let me see if we can let's go hit the refresh button on today's. I guess we'll go to all. So Trey Lance, if you guys saw the information coming out on Twitter yesterday, which if you guys aren't on Twitter, you should definitely be on Twitter. This is probably the best place to get fantasy news and takes and things like that. But I've been tweeting a lot of good things about some of the things that catch my eye, usually, upwards of 10 tweets a day on things, just keeping kind of track of the news and the notes. But Trey Lance apparently has just been roasting in camp. He's been really, really good. Let me read this blurb for you. They've been using Trey Lance in an array of zone reads and designed runs. One day after Coach Shanahan said Lance would not have any first-team reps during training camp, the rookie lined up under center with the starters for at least one rep. Reports out of San Fran indicate the team has dialed up a host of run plays for Lance, a welcome sign for fantasy owners who have identified the 21-year-old phenom as a potential sleeper. Lance is supposedly killing it at training camp, and it looks like he's becoming a real battle between him and veteran Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance, guys. Any week that he starts with his rushing upside, he's going to be a QB1 threat. If you are drafting in the coming weeks and we still don't have any clarity on who the 49ers starter is, I'm going to say try to draft Trey Lance at the end of your drafts as your QB2. If you play Superflex, get him as your QB3. I just think they sold so much to go up and get this guy at number 3 overall. They're going to want to get him on the field. Jimmy Garoppolo he's a fine quarterback. Maybe the Colts trade for him. Who knows? Maybe they need something there. But Trey Lance, I think he's going to be starting sooner than later, even if it takes a week or 2 or 3. We'll see what happens, but I just think what they're seeing in practice, it's going to be hard to contain that. I think once the players start to see, holy crap, like Trey Lance can play, why isn't Trey Lance starting? I think that could be legit questions that the 49ers begin to see from their players. So Trey Lance, if you're drafting soon, try to get him on your team. If you went undrafted, go pick him up. Just leave him on your bench. Trey Lance could be a QB1. And I think what I did, I moved my Lance projections up to about 13 or 14 starts, and he comes out at like quarterback 15. So just imagine if he did get the full season. He's a QB1, guys. I think every week with that rushing upside, Trey Lance, definitely someone to monitor. The Bears' second-round pick, Tevin Jenkins, yet to practice because of a lingering back issue. It's okay. Like their offensive line still was already pretty decent last year, but we were expecting some growth this year from that with the addition of Tevin Jenkins and, of course, Justin Fields. So I still like the Bears' offensive line. We just need to get Jenkins back in there. Josh Doxson. We have a Josh Doxson sighting for the Giants. Let me see. Jeff Gladney, waived by the Vikings. If you don't know his story, you can look into that. It's an unfortunate one that he does deserve to be let go of. KJ Hamler, reserve COVID list. He actually had been playing really, really well in practice. So we'll monitor him. Denver Bronco receivers, I'm interested. We'll see who wins the quarterback position, but I think I'm going to guarantee the Broncos quarterback situation is better than it was last year, where they ran through 4 quarterbacks and had to start one of them at wide receiver, or one of their wide receivers as quarterback. The competition between Locke and Teddy Bridgewater sounds 50-50, but it sounds like Judy has been playing well, Hamler playing well, Noah Fant. Sutton, it looks like he's a little bit slow, so he's kind of the one guy I'm staying away from, but Hamler and Judy and Fant interest me quite a bit. Kadarius Toney made his debut today for practice. Jalen Reagor is a full participant in practice. This one's a good one. Amari Cooper says he's close to 100%. He was talking today on NFL Network, and he seems to be. Here's the quote. I'm trying to be the best Amari Cooper that I've been. Cooper also revealed he is down to 225 pounds, or he's down from 225 to 215 and wants to play at 210. So he's getting quicker, more agile. I don't think he's going to lose much muscle mass either. So Amari Cooper's been going on a discount right now in drafts. He's somewhere in the 4th round. He had been basically him and CeeDee Lamb's ADP has flipped. CeeDee Lamb is a mid-3rd round pick right now. Cooper's falling into the 4th. If you're drafting soon, Amari Cooper, you're going to get a discount on drafting Amari Cooper. Let me see what else here. Jalen Hurd, good to see him working back with the team. There's the Carson Wentz news. Drew Lock. Pat Sherber says this is the best version of Drew Lock he's seen in training camp, so that's good news there. Steelers indicated on Tuesday they plan to use 1st-round pick Naji Harrison all 4 preseason games. So Thursday night, we get to see Naji Harris. I think that's a big part because the offensive line is such a work in progress. They haven't played many games together, like if at all. So they want to get that run game dialed in. So we'll see Naji Harris on Thursday night. Let me see. Christian Kirk, sidelined with a minor deal, but he hopes to be back soon. No more info on that, so that sucks. Let me see what else we got here. Elijah Moore working with the first-team offense. Once you get into the double-digit rounds, I love snagging Elijah Moore on my teams as a wide receiver 4 or 5. Tariq Cohen with the ACL recovery, he's still weeks away, so probably not going to see him all summer here. That makes me like David Montgomery even more. If you want the handcuff, go get Damian Williams. Jacob Eason is expected to play the entire first half of Indy's preseason opener against the Panthers. I think if he completely shits the bed, a trade might happen. If he kind of holds his own and they got something that they can work with, they're going to be okay with Jacob Eason. So huge opportunity for him next Sunday. We'll be watching him. Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott. This one was kind of under the radar, but Stafford's got some thumb x-rays. He hit it when on someone's helmet. He's going to miss practice for a few days, just a swollen thumb, no big deal, no surgery, no nothing. So if his ADP slides a little bit because of this, so be it. Go ahead and continue drafting Stafford. Dak Prescott. Mike McCarthy says he has taken a step back in his return. I'm not overly concerned about this, but McCarthy just said the team is trying to avoid something bigger. So I'm still heavily investing into the Cowboys receivers and Ezekiel Elliott. We got a full month away from football yet. Dak Prescott, he should be working that shoulder and getting things ready to go. Rather have it happen now than in the season, right? So take that discount on Dak Prescott. He's kind of like, if he falls out of the top 5 of quarterbacks, you get him as 6, 7, 8. I love waiting for the tier of Prescott, Rodgers, Lamar, or Russell Wilson. Even Justin Herbert in there. I love looking for those guys. Tyreek Hill missed practice today with knee tendonitis. We're going to watch for that. Calvin Ridley, if you need a positive note to draft Calvin Ridley, he was banged up last year. He had a bad foot, and now he's totally fixed. It sounds like he's 100%. We could see the best of him. Kenny Gallaudet, I think this might be the last blurb of our day. The Giants had a team brawl, first of all, a huge scrum. I'll kind of look at some of that in a sec. Maybe we'll go to the Twitter and look at some tweets. But Kenny Gallaudet left Giants practice after an apparent leg injury. I think I heard that he caught a ball and then he got stripped and fumbled, and then he pulled up with a hamstring injury. They think it's a hamstring, which is what kept him out all last season. I am completely concerned about the New York Giants, and let me show you guys why. The way they've been handling Saquon Barkley, and I've seen the tweets of Daniel Jones not looking. And then add this here too. So this is from Ralph Vacchiano. A full team brawl at Giants camp with QB Daniel Jones somehow at the bottom of the pile. Joe Judge is absolutely livid. He's got the players lined up now to run. It says hard to see exactly what happened. Corey Clement took a big hit at the end of a run. Evan Ingram retaliated. Then he got popped by Logan Ryan. Then everybody, and I mean everybody, jumped in. So after doing 100-yard runs and not hard enough for Joe Judge's liking, players are now lined up on the goal line doing push-ups. So some kind of scrum happened there. Head coach is pissed off. I don't think I need to draft a New York Giant this year, guys. Everything is coming up bad. Kenny Galladay's got a little injury that we're going to have to watch for now. Saquon Barkley still not being 100% included in the practices. Daniel Jones, make or break season for me. I just think it's crumbling in New York. And when I'm up to pick in the 6th round and Kenny Galladay's on the board, no, I'm going to T. Higgins. I'm going to Michael Gallup. I'm going to teams with better offenses and better situations. Even Saquon Barkley in the 1st round. Give me Devontae Adams. Give me Tyreek Hill, something I can trust. I don't want to put my buckets into the New York Giants bucket. Maybe the Jets bucket, but not the Giants bucket. Some notes that I tweeted out here. If you guys don't have an Athletic subscription, it's a really good way to get some of the best details. The New England people do a really good job. But Cam Newton completed 11 of 17 passes today in drills. 2 of the best throws of the day, a 50-yard bomb to Aguilar and a red zone touchdown to Hunter Henry. Cam Newton's going to be the starter. That was what the headline was. Cam Newton tightens his grip on QB1. Mac Jones looks like a rookie for the first time. We'll see how Mac Jones bounces back tomorrow, or if Cam can keep his foot on the throttle there. But interesting to note, Jonnu Smith caught all 3 of his targets today, 3 of 3. Of the 17 passes, I guess 16 of them were catchable. 1 was a throwaway. So 3 of Cam Newton's 16 targets were to Jonnu Smith. If you extrapolate that out to like a 30 passing performance game, that's maybe 5 or 6 targets to Jonnu Smith in a game. Others to note, Michelle caught 2 of 2, Bolden 2 of 2, Henry 1 of 2, and Aguilar 1 of 1. But the way the distribution was 7 receiver targets, 6 tight end targets, and 4 running back targets. Some other things I tweeted out today. Let me read this. So this is Pat, offensive coordinator for the Broncos, Pat Shurmur, on Javonte Williams. He's been terrific. His running ability is very obvious, but the things that we see are his instincts as a football player. Some people just get it, and we've all been around people who just don't quite get it, and they wake up every morning and start over. He gets it, and it shows up in his pass protection, very important, and it shows up in being able to get lined up and his awareness. He's got a really bright future. I'm all into Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon's going to be a nagging, side in our, thorn in our side this season. But Javonte Williams, if his ADP drops a little bit, he could be a really fun running back here. Blake Jarwin listed as the starter for the Cowboys, but just some, a lot of good things on the Twitter. So if you guys are not on there, go ahead and follow me at theFellowKGB. That's going to do it for today's video. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a live mock draft. If you guys have any recommendations, I'd like to use ESPN, and I'd like to do a 12-team mock. Let me know in the comments below what spot you guys want me to do. I'm trying to do as many spots as I can. I don't think I've done number 2, number 7, and number 11. I think if I'm going to choose on my own, I'm probably going to go with one of the numbers I haven't done. But let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.